Philippine Politics and Governance, Lesson 3, Power. Ewan Stories.
Like, subscribe, click the notification bell.
Let us define power. Power is the ability of a person to carry out his or her will. In politics, power is the ability to exercise control or impose restrictions over individual as well as compel others to do certain tasks. It is the main source of the reign of the government, the possession to govern or to rule the state. In connection to power, let us see the structures of order. The lowest is the community. This refers to the association of individuals who shares a common identity. Next is the government. It's a higher level of social order that exists primarily for the maintenance and the perpetuation of the community. And the highest is the state. It is the largest social order today and in which the term politics originally derived. These are the classification of power. Coercive power. This is more of threats, punishment, and the use of force. Reward power. This gives rewards and benefits. Expert power. This is based on knowledge and skills of the individual. Legitimate power. This is from person's position, the role, or the duties in a group. And referent power. This is based on individual's personality and ability to attract followers. The basic issues in politics: legitimacy, sovereignty, authority, influence, and leadership. For legitimacy, it is the acceptance or recognition of the rights to exercise power. It is based on existing laws, customs, and traditions that are prevalent in a certain society. For sovereignty, or the political power, this is the power of the government to perform its functions and conduct its affairs without interference from outside force. It is the ability to exercise control over a group of society. Authority, the right of the leader to rule and the power to exact obedience on his people. It is based on an acknowledged duty to obey rather than know any form of coercion or manipulation. Influence is the ability to entice or convince through persuasion and other non-coercive means. And leadership. It exercises various forms of power in order to guide people in an organization and lead them in the conduct of various tasks. Remember, the wise and the balanced use of influence and power, however, prevents conflicts and ensures harmony within society. Now let's go to the classification of power, but this one is based on authority. This was proposed by German sociologist and philosopher Max Weber. The first one is charismatic authority. It is based on personal qualities of the individual who wields power. The second is traditional authority. These are traditional values and existing social ties and institutions. For example, in monarchs where members of the royal family have traditional authority. Then we have legal rational authority. These are based on systems of laws and regulation and an established bureaucracy. This is empowered by law. Now let's go with power and governance. Government's national power. These are composed of various resources and instrumentalities. Police power. Use of police force to ensure law and order for public use. Eminent domain. Power of government to acquire private property for public use with compensation. Power of taxation. Impose and collect taxes from its citizens. Military power. Capability of a state to wage war against another state and is evident in resources such as military and weapons. Economic power. use of economic resources and finances, and the ability of states to influence other nations by denying or giving them access to certain resources. Psychological power, the ability of the state to use its image or reputation in influencing other actions. Wise use of diplomacy, propaganda, and mass media to successfully achieve the goals of its state. Power and citizenship. Sovereignty resides in the people that compose the state in democratic governments. The Bill of Rights, under Article 3 of 1987 Philippine Constitution, enumerates rights and privileges guaranteed by the state to its sovereign citizens. The state has instituted formal means by which citizens are able to directly participate in the government. Referendum. Citizens vote for or against a proposal of law. Also, approval of certain local laws or laws passed by the Congress. Plebiscite. Citizens approve or propose changes to the Constitution. Initiative. Citizens directly propose laws of amendments to the Constitution. And the last is power revolt. An example is people power. With power, there is responsibility and accountability. Responsibility is closely tied with obligation. It refers to an action that an individual is required to perform. This is more of legal responsibilities and moral responsibilities. Accountability refers to the acknowledgement of responsibility for an action and its consequences. Ways power can be abused. Number 1 is abuse of authority. Use of authorized power for illegal acts, stepping beyond the bounds of authorized actions. Second one is abuse of discretion. Willful disregards for the rules or proper procedure. And the last is abuse of power. Misconduct in office. Official performs unlawful actions while in office. This is more of what we call graft and corruption. Because of abuses of power, we have agencies that ensures accountability, especially against corruptions in our country, the Philippines. We have Office of the Ombudsman, Sandigan Bayan, TCGG, Commission on Human Rights, Commission on Audit, and the Blue Ribbon Committee. The Office of the Ombudsman. This is a government agency that investigates cases of alleged abuses by officials and government employees. Sandigan Bayan, empowered to hear and decide on cases involving graft and corruption and abuse of power by public officials. The Presidential Commission on Good Government, or the PCGG. This is a government agency that investigates cases of abuse of power and graft and corruptions in the government. The Commission on Human Rights, or the CHR. This is a government agency that investigates cases of police and military abuses, extrajudicial killing, and abuse of prisoners in jail. The Commission on Audit, or the COA or COA. This reviews expenditures of government offices and agencies' public fund. And the Senate Committee on Accountability of Public Office, or the Blue Ribbon Committee. This is a government agency that investigates alleged wrongdoings of government officials and government employees. Remember, these institutions reviews expenditures of government offices and agencies to ensure that public funds are used properly. Has the power to disallow improper expenditure or use of government properties. Investigates alleged wrongdoings of government, its officials, and agencies for the purpose of drafting new laws or amending existing laws to address the problem of abuse and corruptions in the government. Another way for the government to check its employees is the Statement of Assets, Liabilities, and the Net Worth, or the SALN. This is a factor to ensure responsibility and accountability in government, transparency, and easy access to information. Thank you very much for watching my video. So if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. And then if you are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and also hit the notification bell for updates. By the way, this lesson is based from the curriculum guide given by the Department of Education.